Hello, I'm William McDonough. I'm an architect, and I worry about things like the circular economy, cradle to cradle, which I'll explain in a minute. But today I'm here to celebrate a new building that has been designed for the Universidad EAN in Bogota, Colombia. This building, which we've been working on with the university, is very exciting for us because it represents something very special in the world of making things, not just a building, but a community. And when we look at the idea of this university, which has been to serve entrepreneurs with instruction and co-creation in ethics, morals, accounting, the truth in beauty, the truth in number, and to actually train entrepreneurs looking into the future of how to do business with great alacrity and grace as we look at short-term activities leading to long-term value creation. So the short-term activity here is a building, but the long-term is a community and a notion of actually competition, which I'll explain in a minute, which is the idea that we all get fit together. So certain things in business are short-term, certain things are long-term. Buildings are really long-term things. So when we think about the transactions that will go on here, they will be tiny actions among people. So when we looked at this community of students and faculty and administrators, what we realized is they celebrate a plaza, they're constantly moving around, they're interacting with each other all the time. So we want the building to represent that notion of constant interaction and co-creation. So the building has gymnasia, has cafes, it has meeting spaces of all kinds for people to celebrate being with each other and being a part of the city. The building itself is a citizen. And it has this sparkle to it, which is a building system we're looking at, which is based on the idea that we could use materials that can be reused to make things that are adaptable over time. So we call this the Wonder Frame on the outside. And it's there to shade the building. It can be adapted. Triangles can be moved even by the students themselves. And we can start to think about this building as being a living object in the middle of the city. When we look at the idea of life itself, and we realize that as we move manufacturing and production, and think about what might happen in Colombia with the entrepreneurs looking at the future, we move from the use of hands and manufacturing, coming from the Latin for hand and execute. And we move from the brick and the weaving and the knotting of rugs to the idea of equipment. And we might have called it machine factoring. And then we move to robots. And today we see even robots instructing robots. And we start to see artificial intelligence. And the question of artificial intelligence is, what are the machines teaching the other machines to do? And aren't these really just tools for human benefit? And how do we instruct these tools with our values of the right, the wrong, the good and the bad? Not just the fast, the slow, the wealthy, the poor, the more, the less. What are the right things to do? And then what are the right ways to do them? So this idea that we would look at something that is really about long-term benefit, we could call this artificial intelligence, which is search for statistical significance in business. That's typically profit, etc. And that we could look at that and ask the question, what about a kind of natural intelligence? What happens not if the numbers inform the other numbers only? What if nature tells us what it wants to do? And we have an intelligence for that. So this building, we'll be looking at the intelligence of students, the intelligence in number in business, but also the intelligence of natural systems. So the building is naturally ventilated. So when we need air, the sun moves it. This building has solar chimneys and continuous ventilation around the skin. When we need for people to get together and have food and things like that, the building celebrates those things as something that can happen in a city. As we look at it. When it wants to think about adapting over time, the way nature evolves in various things, then we talk about an adaptable building. It can serve many human purposes. This building could actually be converted to housing in the future if it's needed. So it becomes this highly flexible system that adapts itself. Just imagine if you took away a few of the screens, you can have operable windows and various things of various kinds, and it constantly adapts over time. So the ephemeral thing, the thing that's here and gone, sort of like currency in business. It's current, it's here, and it's gone. Can become capital, the thing that we rely on, the long-term value creation, the mountain that's just over here, the eternal values of humans being expressed in value, and letting the building itself become a member of the faculty.